Hi students, in the last video we had derived the LMTD equation for a parallel flow heat exchanger. Today we are going to derive the LMTD for a counter flow heat exchanger. As we all know, in a counter flow heat exchanger, the hot and cold fluids flows opposite to each other over the length. So this is the flow arrangement of a counter flow heat exchanger. We can see that the hot fluid is entering from one side and the cold fluid is entering from the opposite side. So they will be traveling opposite to each other throughout the length of the heat exchanger. Okay. Now we need to draw the temperature profile of a counterflow heat exchanger. Okay. This is the section 1 and section 2. The hot fluid is entering the heat exchanger at a temperature of TH1 and the cold fluid is entering the heat exchanger from another side with a temperature of TC1. The hot fluid will be exiting from the heat exchanger with a temperature TH2 and the cold fluid will be leaving the heat exchanger with a temperature of TC2. Okay. Now we need to consider an elementary area for analyzing the LMTD for a counterflow heat exchanger. For that, we consider an elementary area dA in the heat exchanger. Okay. In the elementary area dA, the heat transfer rate is dQ. Okay. The value of dQ will be U into dA into Th minus Tc. It will be like the parallel flow heat exchanger. We can simply write it as U into dA into delta T, where U is called the overall heat transfer coefficient, dA is the elementary area, and delta T is the temperature difference. Okay. The delta T can be found out from the graph, that is theta Th minus Tc, that is the entering region. We can apply the same equation to cold fluid also, that is m dot C and Cpc and etc are the parameters for the cold fluid. But unlike the parallel flow heat exchanger, in counterflow heat exchanger, the cold fluid energy is also negative. The cold fluid is also losing heat energy. While analyzing for the entire area, that is from 1 to 2, this is the temperature. Y-axis is denoting the temperature. Hot fluid is losing temperature, same as cold fluid. But cold fluid is gaining temperature from the inlet portion to the exit portion. But we analyze the area from 1 to 2, the cold fluid is also losing heat energy like the hot fluid. Okay. Then we need to write the in DTH term, DTH and DTC. We can rearrange this equation and we get minus dQ by m dot h into Cph and minus dQ by m dot C into Cpc. We can write the m dot h and into Cph as heat capacity rate of Ch means hot fluid of heat capacity rate of hot fluid, and Cc means the heat capacity rate of cold fluid. Here C is capital and subscript small h. Here Cpc, that is a specific heat, we only write it as small c. Here we write it as capital C. Okay. Then we subtract the equation 1 and 2, that is dTh minus dTc. We get it as minus dQ by 1 by Ch minus 1 by Cc. Then we know that the dTh minus dTc as d theta. Okay. D theta we can write it as minus d. We substitute for minus dq, that is minus u. Here we have my dq value. Substitute it in here. That is minus u dA into Th minus Tc into 1 by Ch minus 1 by Cc. Okay. Then we substitute for Th minus Tc. We know that Th minus Tc is theta. So we substitute here. That is minus u into dA into theta into 1 by Ch minus 1 by Cc. Then we write in the term of d theta by theta, that is minus u into dA into 1 by ch minus 1 by cc. Now we integrate over the entire area, that is from 0 to area equal to area equal to a, that is from theta from 1 to theta equal to 2, theta 2. We will be getting natural log of theta 2 by theta 1 is equal to minus u into dA into 1 by ch minus 1 by cc. That is, we all know the integral of 1 by x, that is natural log of x, ln of x. Then we apply the upper limit and lower limit. We will be getting log theta 2 minus theta 1, that is log a minus b equal to log a by b. We write as natural log of theta 2 by theta 1, which is equal to again minus u area, that is dA will be changing to over the entire area, capital A, and 1 by ch minus 1 by cc. Now we consider the total heat flow rate in the fluids. We can write it as, we know the equation, that is mCp into delta T. We substitute for m dot h and cph as ch like before, that is the heat capacity rate of hot fluid into th1 minus th2, and the heat capacity rate of cold fluid, that is cc, m dot c into cpc. Now we arrange in like 1 by ch and 1 by cc, and then we substitute for in the equation 4. So we will be getting natural log of theta 2 by theta 1 equals minus u into a into here th1 minus th2 by q, that is 1 by ch, and here we substitute for 1 by cc, that is tc2 minus tc1 by q, and rearranging we get minus ua by q into theta 1 minus theta 2, that is when we apply the negative sign from the outside to the inside, we will be getting ua by q into theta 2 minus theta 1. Okay, now we rearrange the equation, that is we put q, the total heat transfer q, in the left side and the remaining in the right side. Then we will be getting ua into theta 2 minus theta 1 by log theta 2 by theta 1. Okay, on comparing with the governing equation, that is q equals u into a into theta lm or theta m or lmtd, we get the theta lm or theta m or lmtd as theta 2 minus theta 1 by natural log of theta 2 by theta 1. Or we simply put a negative sign here, we will be like getting theta 1 minus theta 2 by natural log of theta 1 by theta 2. Now on comparing with the parallel flow heat exchanger, the LMTD is greater for counterflow heat exchanger, which means the counterflow heat exchanger requires smaller heating surface, that is for the same temperature of the cold fluid and hot fluid, the counterflow heat exchanger requires small area for occupation, and the parallel flow heat exchanger requires more area, large surface area is required for the parallel flow heat exchanger. LMTD is the driving potential in the heat exchanger. More the value of LMTD, there will be more heat transfer. That is, when the heat difference between the temperature difference between the hot fluid and the cold fluid is greater, then there will be more LMTD. So the LMTD, as the LMTD increases, the heat transfer rate is also increasing.